Hello, it's me. I haven't made a video in 5 million years and I'm so sorry. I don't even have a good excuse. So I turned 24 recently and I just wanted to make a video of the 23 things that I've learned in my 23 years of life, because obviously I'm so wise. But I wanted to make this video because I wanted to help at least someone out there, you young people. I have everything written down here in my notes, my chicken scratch. So yeah, so let's get started. Good friends are really hard to come by. So if you find someone who respects you, who loves you, who is there for you, who will feed you chicken nuggets at 3 a.m., keep them. People with amazing soft skills run the world, even if they don't have the best technical skills ever. And this kind of sucks to hear, because if you're super introverted or super shy, but you're super smart, your opinions might not even, matter if you don't voice them well enough. And so the key to doing well in the world, I think, is just being a people person and being able to relate to other people, listen to them well, and learning those soft skills. It's a skill, so you can definitely learn and get better at them. Value yourself. Growing up, I had always wanted to put other people before me, and I wanted to be humble and selfless, but I think in the mix of trying to do that, I mistakenly thought that I had to devalue myself, and that's totally not true. It's not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking less about yourself. And in that way, the intrinsic value that you have as a human being is the same value as anyone else. If you're an immigrant in the US and you're bilingual or trilingual, try to be as fluent in your native tongue as you possibly can when you're young. Your culture is so important, and I know being here in America, everyone just wants to fit in, but be proud of being Asian American or whatever your heritage is, because it's so cool when you have a different language, when you have a different set of traditions, that's something that adds to being American. It doesn't detract away from being American. Plus, in my experience, my mom doesn't speak English, so it's like if you lose the ability to speak your own language, that communication between you and your parent is lost, and it's a really sad thing when parent and child can't communicate. Don't slouch, just don't do it. I'm even having to remind myself to not slouch because it's really bad for your neck and your back. Moisturize morning and day. Your skin will thank you for it 10 years down the road. Drink as much milliliters of water as the number of pounds that you weigh. So if you weigh 150 pounds, drink 150 milliliters of water. It'll just be good for your skin and your bowel movements. So yeah, learn to take the blame and say sorry when it's your fault. I think it's very easy for us humans to blame someone else or to blame a circumstance that we had no control over. And sometimes that is true, but if you know you did wrong, especially if you did wrong to somebody, own up to it, because it builds trust and it's better for you, and it just makes you more of it just gives you better integrity. And I think that's something that we can all aim to have for as human beings. Read more when you're younger. Knowledge is power, and you can find a lot of knowledge in books, in library books that you can rent out for free, or ones that you can listen to online. I recommend reading a lot of psychology and self-help books, just because it teaches you on how to have better soft skills and kind of how to read people's body languages and how to be more influential and more persuasive, which are two things that are super necessary in this world. Take at least one trip out of your comfort zone each month. Oh, right. Second half. Oh my gosh, my knees are sweating. That's kind of gross, and you didn't need to know that. Get involved in politics, especially if you're a minority. You would be surprised at how many loopholes and things that are just not for us. They're not for a majority of the working people, because they're for, unfortunately, a lot of the people who are already wealthy. And it sucks, because those are the people who understand that politics is tied with money and with power. And understanding that, even that knowledge isn't something that's I think prevalent in a lot of low income or even like middle class Americans. And that's so sad. And one way to combat that is to just read up on history, to read up on what's going on in your hometown. And when you read about the injustices that happen in our post-racism society, it just, like, I think it makes you angry, and it makes you want to get involved. People care about you, but not as much as you think. Okay, I know, like, that sounds so hopeless, and it's not meant to be. The reason is, the moment that you realize that people don't care about you as much as they do themselves is the moment of liberation. Because then you don't have to constantly think about, oh, what will other people say if I do this? Or, well, I don't have a good job, so therefore other people are gonna look down on me. But it's like, they don't care that much, honestly. Like, they're just about their own personal beings. Not to say that there aren't good people out there that do care about you, but you just have to realize that, like, you shouldn't be beholden to other people's standards and expectations of you. Like that one time that you messed up during a class presentation, or you tripped in front of your crush or whatever, chances are they don't even remember it. And so forgive yourself, like, move on, and don't let that hold you back. Take a public speaking class. Well, I took a public speaking class in college during my senior year, and it was probably one of my favorite classes, just because, one, the teacher was awesome, and two, you're able to express yourself and talk and be able to speak to the public without fear. And that is so important, especially if you want to find yourself in a higher position of power. Travel if you can. I know that it's a luxury for a lot of people, but if you can, save up money and don't buy a Starbucks drink every single day, and save $300 that way, and save up for 4 months or 5 months, and then with that $1,500 go and travel somewhere, even by yourself or with a couple of friends. It opens up your mind more than you'll ever know, especially if you're living in the US. Like, the US is just one country out of the whole world, and it's not the center of the universe. So go out there and see what the rest of the world has to teach you. Take a day of rest for yourself and don't feel guilty about it. I think especially in America, everyone is so prone to staying busy because that's what success is. And when you're busy, you're successful. Although, like, whoever thought that equated to success, right? Like, anyways, really just making a day for yourself is really gonna bring a lot of balance, and it's just gonna help you reset and enjoy life a lot more. Go on walks. When it's sunny, go out and enjoy the trees and the birds chirping, and just enjoy the smell of spring. Yeah. There's a season for everything. Whether it's a dry season or a fruitful season, I think everything is happening for a reason. There's always a time to harvest, to plant, to sow seeds, to rest, and that's okay. I think good will come out of every season, so sometimes you just have to enjoy the season and know that's what it is, and sit back and relax. When you're making a difficult choice, go with the one that gives you the most peace. Don't go with the one that other people say that you should go with, especially if you're deciding on where you want to go to college or what career that you want to take. Don't go down the rabbit hole of what ifs. I used to do this a lot, and then I fell into depression, and that was not fun. And it's very easy for us humans to think, oh, well, what if I didn't go to that school? Or what if I sent him this text? Maybe we'd be married now, or something like that. But you don't control the future. Like, there's no point in going down the what if rabbit hole, because it's just gonna take away time that you could be spending on the decision that you've already made, on the reality of life that you already have right now. If you're unhappy with your major and you're still a freshman or sophomore in college, change it. You're paying a lot of money to be stuck in classes that you don't like. So don't waste that money. Don't waste your parents' money. And if you're unhappy with your career and it's feasible and you're able to find another job, then do it. Like, don't feel like you have to be stuck in a job that you hate just because it makes a lot of money. Which brings me to my next point. Don't do anything just for the money. Money is important, but it's not forever. You can't just do everything in search of money, because ultimately, right, like, people want money so that they can they can be with their family and go on trips or buy things for people that they enjoy. And ultimately, I think relationship is really important. And you know, like, make enough money to support yourself and to do all the things that you need to do to pay your bills, but don't work for money. Life is not about money. Learn critical thinking skills. So whenever someone tells you something, always fact check it. Think about why they're asking you those things or telling you those things, because especially in the media, there's always a slant to the facts, right? A lot of people gain a lot of information from the internet, and they can look up anything at the tips of their fingertips, but that information doesn't necessarily always translate into knowledge. Like, it becomes knowledge when you apply it, when you really understand what that information is useful for. Never send anything out on eBay without first seeing the payment in your eBay account or your PayPal account. Yeah, just don't do it. Don't force people to change their personalities. At the end of the day, you can't. It's their heart, it's not your heart, and you're not able to just say, okay, do this, and then they'll be that. For example, if you expect your best friend to be super, super thoughtful, and for whatever reason she's not, you shouldn't judge her in the back of your mind thinking, oh, she's not thoughtful, oh, she's not a good person, why can't she be a good person, or why can't she be more thoughtful? Because then you're just gonna get bitter. You're placing these expectations, these unset expectations on the other person, and you're both going to get hurt when those expectations were never meant to be met. All right, guys, I know that was a lot. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it helps one of you guys out in your lifelong journey of life. Lifelong journey of life. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. Anyways, I would love to hear what you guys think about any of those 23 tips, whether you found them to be truthful in your own life or any other tips that you're willing to share. Maybe you're a little bit older, or maybe you're even a little bit younger and you're like, oh, Jamie, like, I want to tell you this. It's been really helpful in my life. So yeah, feel free to share any of them. If you liked this video, I hope you can give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.